To be a woman gone wild means to live beyond the conditioning and the constructs of the world we once knew, and be the woman who has broken free of the chains that once contained her. At a rapid pace, the world is shifting. This change has called you into realms of divinely guided leadership and into a movement of wild women who have linked arms to fearlessly live, fearlessly lead, and fearlessly love. Where the voice that guides us expands from within, where head-led living is being replaced with a devotion to heart-led leadership and pure alignment. Every single woman is a leader. You, Queen, are a leader, which is why you arrived here. Whether you are leading yourself, your family, or your community, whether you are single, married, a mother, an entrepreneur, a healer, or a woman with a dream, you belong here. Feminine leaders have been called to rise and stand front and center to share their voices and evoke waves of change across our planet. When a wild woman speaks, people listen. They hear her, they are moved by her, and they tell others of her. As the world revolutionizes, the foundation of this new construct lies in the strength of community. Connection and courage have already begun to form, as the cornerstones of which the pinnacle to our greatest awakening will be built. You have been called to be unafraid, to feel deeply, to lean into the nudge that continues to whisper within. Link arms with us. Rise fearlessly.
And we're live.
Fabulous. Welcome, welcome everyone in my Facebook. I am so excited to be here and to bring you these two fabulous women. I'm Lisa Thomas, and I am an epigenetic master, and I help basically business women move to the next level in their career. And I am so excited to join forces and to join this launch of Jules and Rhonda's, and I want to introduce them. Please meet Rhonda Swan. She is a PR specialist and branding expert, and she's going to share with us her wild dreams and what she has going around this book launch that I said yes to. And then also Jules Schroeder, who is the owner of Unconventional Life. I've spoken many times on her stages, traveled with her, and she's an amazing musician. So these two women are extremely gifted in their own rights. And just before we get started, I want to talk a little bit about the synchronicity of what I see happening right now in the world among my clients, the people I work with, and who I have the opportunity of spending time with. This is a great time, I believe, for women in particular, to stand up, say yes, and be all in. The women that are in my world are women that have a powerful mission, and they want to be heard. They want to be seen, or at least they believe they should be seen, right? There might be some fear around being seen, but they have a message to deliver. And women in leadership is needed now more than it's ever been. Women in leadership who can say yes, women in leadership who can guide based on the wisdom that they have and where they're headed. This is an amazing time, and I'm excited to be part of this. So if you are listening to this, I say, heck yes, come in, join, because this is the time to say yes. And the thing that the three of us have in common, which we've come to find out over time, is all three of us have had near-death experiences, in the last 10, 20 years. All three of us have. And that in itself is pretty unique. But what that did for each one of us is it put us on a path where we see opportunities when they come to us. We see the yes and we grab it and we bring it in and we embrace it. And, the other thing that the three of us have in common is transformation. And that the belief that all women can go to that next level, that there isn't a threshold, and that everyone that has this purpose in life to be more is available for them. And that's what I'm excited to talk about, and to talk about how this leads into this wild book series. So Rhonda, start us off.
Yes, so great to be here and to have you shining through, Lisa. It's really nice. It's on our WGW book Instagram page too. We got a number of our authors going, "Whoa, listen, look at this. This is amazing." I really truly appreciate it, and you're right. It's time, right? It's time for us, especially as women, to come together. And the fact that the three of us are sitting here obviously is no chance, and no coincidence that we're here together. And can I make sure, ladies, that you can hear me?
We can hear you, yeah.
Okay, good. It looks like I just froze, and apologize. I'm actually at the airport, everyone. So I'm heading my way out to Buenos Aires. But there's no coincidence that we're here together. And when the three of us, and Jules and I especially, sat together in Nepal and said, look, it's time for us to really bring more women and give them more of an opportunity to be visible, and to bring out to light an opportunity for everyone to be able to not only share their voice, but to truly be able to connect with other women around the world. And I'm the founder of the book series, Women Gone Wild. And when I shared with Jules what we were doing with the book, it just made so much sense to bring now on more women that can really truly help move this message. And so that's what I'm really excited about. We've been, this is the third book in our edition. We're in the Wild series now, which is wealth, intuition, leadership, and diversity. And the wealth book just launched, and we have the intuition book launching this year. And now the leadership book is opening up, which is why I think, Lisa, this conversation is so important, because women are being called to lead. And so I want to make sure that you can hear me, because I feel like I'm frozen. And okay. Oh, good.
Yeah. And I think it's perfect. And hi, everyone. If you're joining us, just you can go ahead and comment, or you can even put replay if you're catching this on the replay. As Rhonda mentioned, as Lisa shared, it got really clear that for me, this was the year of visibility. And if this is also your year where you feel like you've been playing a certain game, and Lisa, I love that's what you're known. I actually met Lisa back in 2019 at an event speaking. I was in a very transitional period. Instantly, I heard her speak, and I was like, I want what she's selling. And I became a client of hers, and we've become dear friends. And now she's, been a part of my unconventional life community. That, I've noticed this trend, as you said as well, that there's been a lot of us for quite a period of time that we've been playing these games and we become big fish of the ponds we've been swimming in. And that does not diminish the extraordinary impact we're having or the leadership we're doing. But I noticed for myself, last year I had an unconventional life event in Nepal, and I know you shared that with many of your community too in December, that it was time for me to really go from, as Rhonda puts it, best kept secret to world-renowned brand. And to really claim visibility for what I don't even know of what's possible of stepping out. And if you're here with us and you want to claim that, I am visible, you can go ahead and put that in the chat, especially if you're catching the replay. And I think it's important because what I've noticed since then, I was literally invited the next month to give a TED Talk. I came back, just did a TED Talk in Bulgaria, performed one of my original songs that was live. And there's been this compound effect, and teaming up with Rhonda in this book gave a vehicle for visibility. And I would not have done the TED Talk had I not been connected to someone who she knew. And had we all not really looked at, well, what if we're all big fishes at these ponds? What happens if we come together? What extraordinary exponential impact could then be possible? And not only that, how does our work get more known? How does our client sphere increase? How do we have more fun? But ultimately, how do we keep discovering more of our aligned fit for what we have to offer in the way we're meant to lead? And I'd love for you to kind of share a little bit and speak to that a little bit, Lisa.
Right. It's coming together with people that move our needle forward in our life. Because when we stay a lone island, isolated in this zone that we're in, we block opportunities to flourish. We block opportunities to be seen. We block opportunities to help more people. And when we come together in unified force, that's when I think real things happen. That's when change happens. That's when we go to that next level of whatever that means for us. But if we try and predetermine, then we really hold ourselves back. It's saying yes to these types of things. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And, in the spirit of that, Rhonda and I recently hosted this Art of Being Visible challenge, and we featured 3 of the authors from the past book. The one thing I was so struck by is the power of what saying yes over the course of 1 year can do with the right vehicle for transformation. And I watched some of these authors that, had successful businesses in terms of money, or they were getting to certain targets, but in some ways they had hit a plateau of impact or visibility. And then seeing them on New York Times billboards, I know that's something you do within the authors, watching them on Forbes magazine, TV shows, the amount of now they're getting their own book deals. It's like incredible to see the cross community co-creation that's happening. And to hear, you know, a lot of them being like, my business is now like tripled in revenue and I've been on all these things. It just showed for me, when you're ready for the right invitation and the space is there, how quickly things can shift. And that's really our intention in this conversation, is to speak to those who are like, I am ready for the right invitation. I know I'm ready to go from best kept secret to world renowned brand, really playing at beyond the ceiling. And what could that look like? And that's why we all in our various, you know, domains have teamed up. And that's really why we wanted to have that, you know, extension of that invitation for everyone too. So.
Yeah, I want to pop back in here because I know I popped off for a moment, and it's such a beautiful conversation because, like Jules mentioned, you know, I've been a publicist for over 18 years, own a branding and PR firm, launched 2,500 plus brands and new products just in the last 5-6 years alone. And the one thing that I've seen that has the most impact is when someone is willing to step into that yes, that yes, this is actually mine. Like this is so at grasp for me, yet I don't know how to find it. I'm not quite sure how to get to that next level. How many here have been in that moment? Like I saw Jennifer saying, yes, I called myself a best kept secret the other day, right? Like how many times are we like, yes, I'm claiming it, I'm doing it. However, I'm not quite sure how. And just put that in the comments if you ever found yourself there, because that's exactly where and why this book series kind of started to surface. I was literally sitting at a big event with my clients in Bali. We're doing their brand, their photo shoots, they're filming all the things to help make their brand look sexy, right? And we sat there, we were starting to share all of our best kept secrets and of what we've done and what we're doing. And what we realized is that most women have not been sitting at a table like that. Hadn't been sitting at a table so often, sharing their work or sharing the secrets that they have or they've utilized to get to that next level. And what we all realized, our commonality was that we all deserve to be together to do that. In order for us to get to that next level, we have to do it together. And so that's how the book actually was birthed. It was as more of a need. Like we need to show women that we can work together, we can co-create and share our voices at a higher level than we could ever do alone. Right. I know. So I see you, Jill, saying, yes, I've had that where I'm like, gosh, how do I do it? Or you just know it's available for you. And that's why together, deciding for all of us to move forward into this next stage together and linking arms just really showcases what can happen when we collectively put our energy together and utilize each other's core competencies to make such magic take place. So this is something I'm so passionate about. And when the book series actually launched, ladies, in 2020, the first book, 2020, and then of course you had shared I had a near-death experience, and I'm going to share this briefly because others may have had these same type of experiences where you can't deny it anymore, where it's coming so strong, the message that you have to continue. And I was laying in a hospital bed in Bali during COVID. My body went sepsis. I had to go into emergency surgery and I woke up. However, I didn't know that I would when I went into the operating room. I was saying goodbye to my family, my daughter, my daughter's over here, my daughter and my husband. And I said, God, if there's one thing, please let me wake up. I will share your gifts. I will walk in your light. I will do what my mission is meant to be. And I woke up and I was visited by spirits. And these were women that had been burned at the stake, witches, women's voices that had been suppressed. I'm sitting in this hospital bed and it was like lucid. These women were just coming at me saying, we need your voice. We want you to share more, to give more, to create a platform for women. And, many of us have been to points where like, we do all this. What do you mean? I can't do more. What can I do? And sure enough, right when you think that's when you have more in you. You have so much more in you. And I said, okay, I'm ready. I'll do it. And this is when the Wild series was birthed. And again, I'll kind of reiterate it. The Wild is a woman that attracts integral wealth. That's the W, wealth. And that book just launched. A woman that listens and leans into her intuition, stands in her leadership, takes that role of leadership, and then embraces diversity. And, this is when everything started to happen, right? Everything began to unravel and unroll. And now women are coming together at such a beautiful space in their life and saying yes. And so I think why we're here, right? Is to say yes to each other and say yes to the things that come our way.
And say yes to our purpose. Our
Yes.
purpose isn't to play small. You know, we're here to do great things and to impact the world around us and the world at large. And we can't do that if we keep playing small. And sometimes, I mean, oftentimes what we really need is this community, a community like this that says yes to each other, and through each other's brilliance, we magnify that, and everybody wins. Everybody gets seen individually and as the collective. I think it's so powerful, Rhonda, what you brought together.
And I think with that as well, just seeing some of the comments, and good to see you, Kelly and Sabrina. Hi, Jill, Mary, so many great. And if we're catching you on the replay, hello as well. You know, is that to really be able to say, not only I deserve to have a seat at the table, which I think is so important, and recognizing it's my time. And I don't know about you ladies, but I feel like I'm having conversation after conversation, like I said in the beginning, that you feel like it's literally the moment. Like there is a wave that is rising, and you can either get on and catch the wave that is on the up fast track trajectory, or you just let that wave pass. And if that's you and you feel like you're seeing this visible wave possible for yourself, you're feeling it activated, and you just put me in the chat as well, that there is this desire building for more in this big capacity. And I think A, to recognize, okay, that's true. B, to validate, okay, these are epic, extraordinary women, and I also belong because I also have a genius in me. And C, here is a vehicle that can get me from A to B. Because for so many of us, it's like, I feel I'm supposed to do it, but how do I do it? And it's like, how do I go from there to there? And that was one of the things that I've watched Rhonda, the book, you know, in the background for a while, and we've talked about, is it's a very clear invitation and trajectory of how to do it. 25 women come together over the course of a year. They participate in the book. This book is around diversity. I know we're working with some incredible publishers. You've had Brown Publishing. This is not the Amazon bestseller kind of model. This is like Wall Street Journal, New York Times bestseller. You're talking with Forbes as a publisher. You're on New York Times billboards. You're in top tier press. Your business, your audience, everything is growing. So it's like actually the real deal of it. And then by just showing up for it, who you get to be in that process, like it's a very clear how. And I'd love, Lisa, for you to kind of speak to that a little bit, because we talked to you. I was inspired. I was like, I'm in, I'm all in. I shared this with some of our UL community who is also tuned in the chat. We had quite a few ladies that have jumped in as well. And Lisa, I came to you and I was like, you've also, I feel like, got to be in on this. Like, I feel you in the wave. And I'd love for you to share what it was about this that struck you and what you think is available for people here to know.
You know, for me, I always, it's what am I feeling in the moment, right? And it's taken me years to hone this gift in. And when you brought it up to me, it was as if it was like I was being shown ahead of it before you even brought it to my attention, if that at all. It's that wave that you're talking about where I'm meeting people. People are coming to me and asking me to do things, you know, in really big ways. And when you said this to me, Jules, it was an automatic full body yes. Because one, I am a collaborator. And that's what feeds my soul, is to collaborate. And when people come together and with a goal in mind, this intention of empowering women in the world for their voices to be heard, I'm all in. It wasn't even I didn't even think twice about it. I was, tell me how to show up. How do I show up? Yeah. How do you need me? How am I there? Absolutely. And I think that's how it is in our life. There isn't anything that's no vision's going to happen from where we are now to where we're going to be. We can try and envision where we want to be, but how we get there is really divine synchronicity. And it says, yeah, it's these opportunities where we say yes to without knowing every step, but we trust it because, like, Rhonda has the PR figured out, right? And she's done multiple books. Wow, that's a great safety net right there to say, yes, I'm all in.
Absolutely. And with that as well, talk about the collaboration. Then for me, I had to confront my fear of success, fear of taking on more responsibility. Right. What if I'm an imposter? And that's where I think your gifts are so incredible as well, Lisa. These inherited tags that we have. And like you combine the different components and zones of geniuses, and you actually have the all-star team to be able to really get you from A to B.
Right.
So,
and I am going to be helping authors get over that fear of visibility, get over that, oh my gosh, am I being more than I really, like, am I going out there in too big of a way? Like, let's just eradicate that, because there isn't truth in that. That's our own internal fears.
It is. And Jules and I had this conversation this morning, Lisa.
Yeah.
And how often, right, where we say yes, we're like, full body yes, we're in. And then all of a sudden, right, our logical mind and that imposter syndrome and that doubt creeps in, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't. Because we see it often. In fact, I do it all the time. Who is guilty of saying yes and then pulling back, right? If you are, just admit it, right? Where you're like, oh, I'm not sure. And what I love the most is what we're creating here. And this is where I have seen the most beautiful levels of not just success, but development and growth happening within, our authors, is because they're such a collaborative group. It's like you have all of your sisters with you in those moments. Like, it's okay. You're allowed to feel this way, but hey, we're here together, and we're so much, all of us are, we're strong as our strongest and our weakest link, right? So we can help elevate each other. And that's something that I truly have loved and enjoyed watching take place. On the practical side, what takes place with this type of opportunity is it's rather mind shattering. If anyone is looked into, let's say, digital marketing agency or PR firms or ways to get your message out there, right? Whether it's through advertising, whatever that might be. I took that whole model of how hard is it not only to find someone you can trust, but what's the next stages you can do to get yourself out there. And with my knowledge being in PR and in digital marketing, I took everything that I do on my company side and literally blended it together with this book. And I had a conversation with Hay House a couple weeks ago, because we're also, in conversations with Hay House and Forbes, because this next leadership book holds so much that we're really looking for the right and the absolute best home for it. And they said, are you a New York Times bestseller already? And I was listening to Hay House. I'm like, well, not quite yet. And they said, well, when we got your proposal and your application, we looked the book up. And we looked that book up, and it's so visible. It's everywhere. All of your authors are rock stars. She's like, we assumed that you were a New York Times bestseller. We couldn't believe we didn't hear about it yet.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons I said yes to this, is the visibility that you can bring and the expertise that you have. So it's all in one package, the PR, the marketing, what I don't see, I work hard in the back end of my business, and I need another set of eyes on it if I'm going to. It was really a draw for me, Rhonda, is your 18 years of experience.
Yeah. So I know we have just a few minutes left, and we're going to actually do a little screen share with you. But before we do, who's ever thought about writing a book? Put me in the chat. Just put that in if you've ever wanted to write a book, thought about writing a book. And I remember reading, an interesting statistic, which we'll show here. I think it was like 89% of people view you more credible if you've written a book. And we're in this information era, right? Where there's, seen a lot of me's, where, there's so much that it's hard to sift through who's for real, who do I trust, what's authentic, what's congruent, what's smoke and mirrors, what's not. And for me, it's like, how we do one thing, I believe, is how we do anything. And so I was like, it has to have integrity, or I don't want to play. And, that's also what I want to talk about. And I see a lot of me's here. And I think with that, as well, is like looking at the me's, there's a lot of leadership within this chat as well. And if you can, in the chat, claim, what are you the leader of in your life? Like, what is your domain of leadership? Because that's the extraordinary thing. We have so many different expressions of leadership showing up within the book. And I really view it as, it's the unconventional, it's the holistic, it's the wild woman. It's the woman who says, I'm the leader of my finances and rocking my money domain. I'm the leader of my family, whether I have kids or an amazing partner. I have an epic lifestyle, amazing health. Like, I get to have the and reality of legacy and impact. And let's just get a taste of some of the leadership we have in the chat as Rhonda starts to share her screen a little bit. What are you owning? What's your domain of leadership here? And, for me, it's like leadership in community, leadership in events. Put some of those there. And Rhonda, I'll piggyback over to you.
Sorry about that. I was muted. Yeah, that's the most fun when you get to play with it. Like, where's my zone of leadership? What am I stepping into? And I love this, Stacy. I'm writing one now. Stacy, awesome. She's already writing a book. But this is the beauty that takes place, right? When you get in this this energy of creation, and then literally playing in that space of what's possible. All of a sudden, our authors are now, their own independent books are coming forward, and they're leveraging the brand. The Women Gone Wild brand is very established. So the beautiful part about what I love is that we do all the building of the brand for the book, and then we help build your brand. Man, when you lean in, everything you are creating actually expands, because now you're leveraging next to a bigger brand that is also now seen not only in PR and publications and obviously all over the world. So it's super fun. I love this too. You know, empowering people through creativity, hosting events. Awesome, Jill. And you know, this is where all the fun is starting to happen, right? All the connections in the community and the creation is coming forward. So Jules, why don't I do this? Why don't I take a couple moments and just share with everyone, and I'll do it rapidly as I can, so you get a feeling of what the actual project's about, and then we're going to have an opportunity for all of you to complete an application, have a conversation with us to see if this is really a good fit for you, and if you're really truly ready to step into that space. Shall I show it, ladies?
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Here we go. Okay. All right. So we've been talking about this quite often. However, I want to reiterate it, that these are studies that have been done, that visible brands are making more money. It's just how it is, right? What people are looking for us, the more visible you are, imagine the more someone else is either talking about you, or you're walking into different events, or you're speaking with someone. When you're out front, you're just being more connected to more people, which obviously in return creates more revenue, more income for your business. But this one particularly is more about searchability. Those that are being seen, how are they being seen? And USA Today did a most recent report, which was that 82% of people reported, if you've written a book, it just increases my trust, right? The connection increases more chance of those wanting to search more deeply for you, and it gives you a different type of platform to share your gifts. And which is why we align our whole program around the book publishing side of it all. All of our books, like Jules had mentioned, are published through a traditional publishing house. Yes, we're on Amazon, but that's just a given that we're going to be an Amazon bestseller because we're going to have such a great book. So our books are all over the world. Barnes & Noble, of course, Booktopia is in Australia, Foyles is in the UK. Like we can be found anywhere around the world. Here's a quick brief synopsis of the book series, so you can kind of get a feel of what the books are like. The first one is the one that was launched in 2021, and then our wealth book, Intuition, and then the final two that are still left in the series are the leadership and the diversity book. We are taking applications for leadership now because it's time, and it's time to really truly step into that space. I think all of us can, and probably guide and attest to ourselves that when we are focusing on our bullseye, if you will, I kind of use these different terms. So it's more like our connected, our authentic, aligned client. That's where the magic starts to happen, and our demographics fit so nicely with not only who we are, but who we're also, you know, working to help support. The really special, we didn't mention this, but we are having a movie that's in the works, that after between leadership and diversity, the Wild Women Awakening movie and documentary series is going to start being filmed. We've been working, and I've been interviewing many publishers or producers to find a home for this movie, whether it's Netflix or Prime, etc. But this is part of all of the authors that are part of this movement and message will have an opportunity to be part of our movie as well. As I mentioned, Brown Books is our publisher currently, but we're also interviewing several others. We do a lot of fun stuff, so it's not just, you know, the visibility and the messaging side. We do a lot of really beautiful, fun things that also create more visibility, which is book signing events, New York Times Square billboards. Our group all comes together, and we're in, you know, massive. To imagine seeing yourself in a billboard in Times Square. But again, it's just more about creating that connection. And when we have these type of campaigns, or we're showing up together, a lot more magic starts to happen than you can even imagine, because people are really watching us. They're watching what we're doing. And then Jules, you want to touch on this one? What we're also doing
Yeah,
with,
we're bringing people together for a writing retreat in Colorado. This is my mountain house in Colorado. I know some of the ladies that are on this chat have actually been there, and some of my other masterminds. It's really beautiful to be able to check that out. So that's another fun thing we're doing, and I'll let you keep going.
Yes. All right. So we've got the writers retreat, and then this is actually quite fun. This is a good announcement for Jules and I. Is I host the Rhonda Swan Show for the last 8 years, and I've been published all over the world. And we just decided and got invited actually to create a new show. And Jules and I, we're kind of just openly announcing it now. Our new show is called Untamed Success. Wild conversations with unstoppable entrepreneurs that live unconventional. If any of you know those buzzwords, you know why. And this show is actually going to be on Pix 11 in New York City, Fox 5 in San Diego, and we have an invitation to be on USA Today's streaming platform. And so we're really excited about that. And that means that all of our authors also have an opportunity to be interviewed. And we're starting that interview in Antarctica, actually, for the first season. But this is just something to share with you. With what I do with our current press tour, our PR clients, is we literally build your complete online portfolio and platform through different tier 1 and tier 2 publications. And this is actually a package that I modified slightly, but I blended it completely into our book package. So imagine this is the type of not only PR but media that you can have for your personal brand, but it's also now connected to the book. And which I know this is why our book has had such amazing success, because it's seen. Our authors are all seen, and their brands are being built and developed all the way throughout the whole process upon publishing. I'm also the founder of the Wild magazine, Wild Mag. All of our authors are published in a print magazine and digital. This is just an example of what we offer to the public. However, for you, it's all completely included, because we want to give you more ways for you not only to have a coffee table, cover of yourself on the cover, and or a story of yourself in print. And so these are the type of really fun things that I just love and enjoy to be able to, to give to those that have never actually had this type of press and PR. We do a lot of marketing material that you get as well. So you get to showcase yourself, into the limelight on your socials and on your websites. But Jules, why don't I hand over to you and you go through the
Totally. So a lot of good stuff there. There's definitely some options. I think it's good to put the link to apply. And we can also, if you are interested, there's a lot of small text on the screen. We can share more about the opportunity. And I think more than anything, it's just getting the world and the magnitude of what being on the fast track could be. And, I think maybe, we pause there on that. And I'd love for you, Lisa, in the last couple of minutes we have here, just to share that and just to kind of get the scope that for those ready to really step forward in leadership, it's a system. The system works. It's a fast track. It's why we're saying yes to it. And it's co-created and it's exponential and it's happening right now. And for those that are like, yeah, the wave's happening right now, now's the moment. And so if you want to catch the wave and you're feeling the wave, it's like catch the wave and say yes. And Lisa, I'll let you kind of maybe close this out here.
You took the words out of my mouth. Like, now is the time. This is the wave. And if you're listening now or on the replay, you know what we're talking about. It's that energetic feeling that, ooh, something's different this year. Ooh, this is the year I can step into who I am more. This is the year for me to be visible. I know you. I got you. And so do these women. This is the year. This is the time. And you are safe being visible. You are safe being known. And it is in your divine right to share your gifts and your talents with the world. And let's bring it on. Let's do it together. Let's magnify this intention so, 100 times fold.
Yeah. So if you are curious, you can head over to that link, bit.ly/WGW apply. It's a very quick application. You'll then be directed to schedule a call with Rhonda and I, and we'll really just explore. Is it a fit? What does visible mean to you this year? What does leadership look like? We have a really amazing group of women that have already said yes to this, some of which who are even joining us right now live, which is great. And so if you feel like this is it, and even if you're not sure, but that feeling, as Lisa mentioned, has been brewing in you, this is the moment to find out. I find bringing curiosity.
Yeah. You have to have a conversation. Sorry.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing. It's literally that, bringing the curiosity into a conversation and allowing that alignment to resonate. And for those that are like, I'm ready to catch the wave. You can even write that in the chat. I'm ready to catch the wave and catch the wave because the wave is here and you're going to catch it and it's going to go and it's here. It's here right now. So it's perfect. So Rhonda, any last things that you want to say there?
Yeah, I just want to welcome you. Welcome to, your next stage of sharing and being visible, of sharing your authentic self and stepping into that and knowing that you're fully supported and that this is your year. This is your time to align and be along, linking arms with not only the three of us, but women around the world. I have a vision that by the end of the series, 80,000 women, feel this with me, 80,000 women will be in a Coliseum sharing their wild story. And that was a vision that I had from the start. And I see it happening every time we have these conversations where more women are saying yes to themselves, yes to more visibility, that every seat starts to fill up into that Coliseum. And these stories are going to shift the consciousness of women because we are saying yes to ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
So come be wild with us.
Yeah, I know a couple of people are having a little bit of issue with the link, but if you actually go to wgwbook.com, you can go there and click on the Become an Author tab. That's another way to access it there. And we'll also put this in the comments as well, so you can check that out as well. You can check, it looks like that worked to become an author. Great, you got that PK. You can check that out there. And you can have a conversation with us. Okay, good. Second links work. I'm glad you're able to check it out. We will be, there's only 25 women. We're already, we've got, I think about 12, 13 more, 14 more spaces left in. So it's a now moment for a conversation if that aligns with you, and to see what could be possible for yourself over the next year. And there's what we know that's possible, what we imagine that could be possible. But in the realm of miracles, what do we not even know that we don't even know that we could be like if you had asked me in December that I would be giving a TEDx talk and performing on stage to end my talk with a guitar in a month, it was just not in the realm of consideration. And that's the kind of compounding effect of what is possible here. And and Kelly, all the pricing options, you can actually, we'll be sharing on the different call, but there's a few different packages to kind of choose from there. So
there's a package That's right. Now's the time to say yes. Yes to your dreams. Yes to who you are. Yes to your aligned purpose. And yes to the time.
Yeah. And Jennifer, it's not open to anyone, just women in the States. We have women from Australia, Europe in the books. It's global, worldwide, all over.
Ireland, Portugal. Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, ladies. Well, I'm so excited to meet all of you. Thank the two of you, Lisa and Jules, for being here and sharing this message. The more that we share, the stronger that connection between all of us women become. And so we'll leave you with this. Imagine yourself walking through Times Square, and all of a sudden you look up and